I have played Call of Dragons more than 1000 days, if I want to be exact, 1149 days, and I can say honestly, all this time I have been Archer main, even before Long Range Warfare, even before Race of Remedy. On today's video, I will share one of my biggest secrets in terms of Archer gameplay, how I'm getting almost every single KVK more than 12 million merits minimum. And yeah, I hope after watching this video it will be easier for you to understand what kind of gameplay I'm playing, and if you like it, you will transfer it to your own gameplay. So the name of the video is March Speed, right? March Speed is the biggest difference between ranged players and melee players, and I can honestly say that it's the biggest difference between good ranged players and bad ranged players. Let's check out the differences behind the March Speed on all of the troop types in the game, right? Archers have 138 March Speed, base March Speed. Mages are one of the slowest troop type in the game, 113, but they have the highest range in the game. So that's basically neglecting the slowest speed, but you have a high range, right? Also, melee players such as Cavalry has highest amount of March speed in the game, 208, and also second highest is infantry players who are having 163. So basically, that's like biggest difference behind all troop types in the game. But since we are talking about archers, we have to mention that archers are having highest amount of physical attack in terms of all troop type in the game. So all the players think that if you are going to increase the physical attack of the archer troop types, you are going to get more and more merits. And I can say that can be true in some cases, but generally in open field PvP, in war situations against lot of troop types around the battlefield, having highest amount of physical attack is not guaranteeing you to have actually the highest amount of merits which you can generate in open field PvP. I can say that with my own experience, this physical attack is quite enough in order for you to actually get merits, but your defensive playstyle, defensive stats are more important whenever we are speaking about real-time war gameplay. That's why my biggest secret in terms of my archer gameplay is to increase march speed as much as possible. And why you should actually do that, right? In this game, we have the artifacts for the melee players in cavalry and infantry, which is basically giving them the ability to catch you up really fast, right? First of all, Shield of Stubbornness, you can see the skill, they can actually catch you and throw you away, right? Now, the Storm Arrows, this artifact is for cavalry, but even infantry players can use it. And the idea of Storm Arrows is to blink inside your 5 march inside the ranged players, and it will be impossible for you to move away. Also, Deathless Wine can immobilize you, which means you will be stunned for a couple of seconds. You can't really move away, right? Also, we have Spirit Bone Torque, which is going to taunt you for 3 seconds, and all these artifacts are actually created because they want to be closer to you. Closer to you means that it will be hard for you to run away, and if you don't have high march speed in Call of Dragons, well, after the taunt, it will be hard for you to move away. After immobilize, it will be hard for you to move away. And same goes for the blink artifacts. Even though infantry can blink on top of your head, if you have high march speed, it's possible that you will still run away. Of course, you can't really run away from cavalry players. That's the only troop type which you will never escape if they are basically targeting your ranged troops. But If we are talking about infantry, there is a high possibility that you can run away if you are building your archer and mage hero pairs centered around march speed, right? That's why all of my archer heroes and hero pairs main idea is to generate as much march speed as possible. Some heroes actually have march speed in their skills, like for example Ruby has march speed 10%. For example, Zaida also should have march speed. If not, then Magrat should have march speed. Well, even Magrat doesn't have march speed, right? And that's a good explanation. Some heroes has march speed increases. Some heroes does not have march speed increases. For example, Freygar had 30% march speed bonuses, which is great, right? Sibyl, let's check out Sibyl. Sibyl has 10% march speed increase. And for the Nico's second skill has 50% increase. Let's check out Falgrim. Falgrim has 10% march speed bonus. Basically, some heroes has march speed bonuses, but some heroes they actually have none, right? And with the Magrat and Zaida, we can say honestly that none of the heroes in this hero pair, well, Zaida has march speed bonus to 2% here, but that's not enough, right? Which means if you want to be building your hero pairs by the march speed increases, you should be looking at the talents of your heroes, right? That's why I will share all my talent trees for my main hero pairs, for the primary heroes, and hopefully you will take it, you will test it, and if it will be suitable for you, then you are going to use it, right? For example, first hero pair which I want to speak is Magrat and Zaida, and in this Magrat and Zaida, Magrat is the primary hero, right? Magrat's talent tree for me looks like this. Of course, I went for the precision talent tree, but we are not speaking about damage dealing talents here, right? I got overall speed to maximum as always. I always prefer march speed bonus than defense bonus in the first section. Then in the precision talent tree, I went for the overall speed 10%. I know Adrenaline Rush gives us normal attack damage bonus 4%, but I believe we have enough damage on Magrat and Zaida. We want more survivability. That's why overall speed 10% is activated. On the marksman talent tree here, I got marksman speed 50% increase march speed for this hero pair. Basically, minimum 3 march speed talents should be maxed out if you want to try out my playstyle, which I have a huge success in terms of open field gameplay. As I said, we are not going to speak about defensive or offensive talents, only march speed talents. That's the first hero pair, which is one of the most popular. Let's go and let's check Ruby and Kylan, right? And Ruby is the primary hero, simply because I like precision talent tree. Let's check out Ruby's talents. Yet again, quite simple. We won't gonna speak about damage dealing talents, we are speaking about march speed talents. Overall speed 6% increase, the overall speed into the precision talent tree 10% increase for the march speed bonus, and marksman talent tree we got marksman speed 50% march speed bonus. This is what actually helps me to survive a lot of infantry players, some cavalry rushes, but in general this is basically the counter towards infantry players who likes to be close to you, right? And of course, yet again, we are not speaking about damage dealing talents, because I believe archers have enough damage dealing abilities and damage dealing talents to even add even more, right? We want more survivability. That's the Ruby and Kylan, right? Also, let's speak about Falgrim and Nico, which is my third hero pair, and Falgrim is the primary hero in my occasion. And yeah, skill talent tree does not really have a march speed bonus, and that's the reason why I went half talent tree on marksman, PvP, and skill. Even here, when we don't have precision talents, we can go overall speed 6%. On marksman talent tree, we can go marksman speed 15% increase, and half PvP talent tree also has overall speed, which is going to increase us 10% march speed bonus. Even if you don't have precision talent tree on your archer hero like Fulgrim, which has skill, you can go half skill, half PvP, half marksman, and you still are going to max out 3 talent points on the march speed bonuses, which is really good. That's my Fulgrim and Nico hero pairs talents. Check it out. I don't even have to go full skills on Fulgrim. Fulgrim can deal enough damage and also some AoE damage. Also, we have Kinara, and I'm using Kinara and Musiang, and Kinara is the primary hero, right? And Kinara's talent tree looks like this. Gladly, control talent trees has overall speed in the first talents, but still, let's check out, right? Overall speed 6%. On the basic talents. On marksman talent tree, I got marksman speed 15%. On control, I got 10% overall speed, and simply because I'm using Inara and Musiang, and they don't have much of a march speed skills on themselves in the skill section. In PvP, I added even more overall speed, which is 10%, right? And that's the talents which I'm using on Kinara. Also, there is 2 ways to have Kinara. You can go control until the maximum. I just don't really rate the last talents on the control talent tree, which is Reticent and Autumn Rains. I don't like that Reticent can only silence the skill rage for 2 seconds. I believe 2 seconds is not a lot of time. And I don't like Autumn Rains. That's why I kinda have to go for the PvP talents. And that's why even in PvP talent tree, I went for the overall speed, because if I won't gonna be able to escape the rushing infantry or blinked infantry, or I can't really maneuver around the battlefield fast enough, then I can't really do much because I don't have range. That's the idea, right? So that's the talent trees for my Inara hero pairs, right? Also, you can check out Syndrion and Freygar, right? On Syndrion and Freygar, I still have 3 march speed talents. My overall speed 6% on a basic talent tree. On the precision talents, I got overall speed 10%, and on marksman talent tree, I got marksman speed 15%. Basically, if I see that there is a march speed bonus in talents, I always go for that marksman march speed, because I believe you have to have high march speed on your archers, right? And I think we checked every single primary hero and the talents of these primary heroes, and I want to tell you how march speed can defeat mage's range, right? We know that mage players and mage troops has highest range in the game, right? They have very far, and archers are having only medium, right? There is a difference between some pixels, how much is a difference, but if you have more and more march speed than mage players, you are basically neglecting the difference from the range, right? You will be able to get closer sooner, and you are basically deleting this difference when you have high march speed on your archers, and you can run away faster. So basically, if you have more and more march speed than the mage players, you don't even feel that they have so much difference in terms of range. That's how much difference march speed can actually make in open field PvP, and that's one of the reasons why I want to play like this for a long time. I prefer to have a higher march speed than range, plus because archers are having quite enough more damage than mage players, because difference is huge in terms of damage. Also, we can test out one thing. We can bring, for example, Margaret and Zaida, and we can bring Ruby and Kylan, right? Let's bring Ruby. Alright, let's bring Margaret and Zaida, and let's bring Ruby and Kylan. Also here, we're gonna bring mage heroes. Let's check out mages. I'm gonna bring Bertrand, and I'm gonna bring Tohar, mage troops, and also I want to bring, for example, one more mage hero pair. Let's bring Welin, and let's bring, for example, Atheist, right? So I'm gonna put every single troop type together. Can they be together? Yeah, they are together, right? I'm gonna click here. We know that my talents on archers are basically focused on march speed, and talents on mages are focused on dealing damage. I know in general archers are having higher march speed, but because of my talents we are going to have even more. Just check out how much faster archers are going to be because of the talents which we actually choose. Let's click here and let's check out what's the difference, right? Let's check out what's the difference. How soon archers are going to get there than mages. That's the key, right? I think I have talents on my Welin on march speed also, which is funny. So yeah, on the Bertrand, my focus is on skill, and Bertrand is really slow. On my Welin, because he is control, I have march speed talents on the control also. That's why Welin can be similar, because I chose to have march speed talents. I just remembered I have Welin on march speed talents, and on Bertrand I have skill. So difference is huge. This is the skill talent tree on the Bertrand, and on all of the other ones I have the march speed. That's the difference, right? How easy it is to run away, how easy it is to move around when you have high march speed is pretty huge. You can test it in the Abyss and you will see it by yourself how much of a difference it can make whenever you have more march speed than your opponents, especially against infantry players. You can basically run away faster and you can escape easily, you can hide behind your alliance members and so on. So basically that's my biggest secret in terms of talents and gameplay I'm playing with my archer main gameplay. Soon we are going to have new KVK starting and I will be able to showcase in real-time fights. As always, if you liked the video, press like, subscribe, share. It always gives me more and more motivation to make more content for this game. I wish everybody an amazing day, morning and night. We are going to see each other really soon. Bye bye and good luck.